Moving on, next we have is the support for Endevor Adapter. Broadcom Endevor Adapter is a mainframe application, and we have actually built an adapter to support a synchronization of Endevor mainframe systems into other tools like Jira, ServiceNow, and GitHub. This was a growth initiative that we have built for ConnectALL, wherein we can go ahead with our mainframe customers and see like if they can use ConnectALL to bridge the gap between the mainframe system and the agile technology or agile tools. So we have developed this basically with minimal limited features as on now, which we will enhance it further based on all the requirements that we get from the market and from the other business. Most of them would have heard about this Broadcom Endure by now. This is one of our Broadcom's mainframe system that is available. And this is basically like enterprise Git platform where all your version controlling, all your code commits and everything that acts in here. And it's a process where you can, build the CI/CD pipeline, you can orchestrate your deployments, and basically you will manage all your application development process. That's what your Broadcom Endure is all about. And once after we build this, like it's actually bridging up or like the gap between the legacy system and our and all our other DevOps framework, and so that the informations flows, the traceability is actually met. So basic use case, if I can say, is like, say that you have a feature created in Rally, and there is, and all the deployments or all other process, your development process and everything happens on your Endure system. There was no way that anything happens on your Endure system. Somebody who's using Jira will get to know about it. So that's where we are building, wherein the changes that happens on the Endure system can be seen on the Jira application under that defect or the user story. So this gap is what we build in. And as I said, this has come with a very minimal out of the box adapter requirements, because our out of box adapter are usually having whole lot of features in it. But here we have built the adapter in with limited functionalities. First thing is the authentication. The authentication that we support is only basic for now, and the entity that is supported is like package and element. And Endure is a push based adapter, it is not a poll based adapter. Though on the UI we have not restricted this functionality, like it's a push base, because we wanted to do that, in fact, like, so that accidentally we don't go and set the poll. But that's not implemented on the UI will have both poll and push enabled. But we'll have to go and holistically set that push option in there manually when you create an automation. So Endure is push based. And this is how a package and element differentiated. I'll show you how an Endure looks like, and how it communicates between Endure and our other tools. But package is basically it's a logical container, like with a set of changes that can come in or set of elements that can come in. A package usually will include like the package ID, description, and the validate file. Element is a functional unit basically for the software that's been managed. It's like a file in our other SEM systems like Git. Common types that we have is the source code, the JCL members, and the copyright. And element is a unidirectional sync. So you will not be able to write anything into element. Rather, you will read the detailing from the element and you will write it into your other systems like a change set or a change request and stuff. But packaging can be bidirectional. So when you create an connections, there are a couple of things that we'll have to note. Like I'll show you how the connections look like when I'm showing up the demo. When you create a connection, you have to put the connection name, whatever the applications, the URL, username, password needs to get in, and there's something called the data source. The data source needs to be picked from your Endure system, and then we'll have to add up the Endure. Where do you have to go and find it in your Endure system? We have given it up here. You have to go into the inventory in the Endure system, and from there you will be able to figure out where the data source name comes from, and that's the name that needs to get in here. I'll show you how it looks like. Basically, this is a pattern that we are trying to solve in, like, a complete end-to-end process from code commit to deployment, and the code commit comes from the Endure. So that's how it is. So we automate Endure. Deployments is handled in Jenkins, changes are tracked in Jira and managed via Rally. So this will be a seamless from the code commit to deployment with mainframes as the code commit. So moving on, the patterns we have differentiated it so that it's easy if somebody is trying to build this up. We basically push the Endure element changes to a Jira change set or a Rally change set. Say that there is we push all the automated software changes and deployment packages from one environment to the other environment. So the development team who's using Jira will get to know what is the deployment packages or the change set that's going to come into. Being on Jira itself, I'll be able to know about it, so you need not navigate between both the systems. And developers, basically the pattern will be like developers uses a CCID, that's a change control identifier in Endure, and you can associate to the code change and corresponding user story or a defect. So when you just open up a user story, when you have an integration, you will be able to go and see the change set in here with the changes that has been come from Endure. So if the change has been committed, that change will get into the Endure. So we have given the, minimal requirement for automation to be created. We have drafted up in here. So as said, Endure will be a push-based adapter. So we have to ensure that we go and uncheck the poll and push option on the destination side. Basically, it will automatically get unchecked there. And your sync operations can be enabled on the destination side, and your sync operations needs to be disabled on the Endure side. Minimal field mappings have been given in case this is going to help out when you're building an Endure adapter. So we have come up with couple of patterns that can be used, which has been explained up here. There's elements, as said, is unidirectional, and package can be bidirectional. So that's the pattern that we have given here. There are limitations, as said. We don't support whole lot of what our other out of box adapters supports, which we may enhance up in the future. But yeah, this is the implementation that we have. Let me quickly show how it looks out the Endure system. So Endure, we can use it in the green screen model, or we can use via the VS Code. The green screen is like pretty hard enough, so we are getting used with the VS Code. So this is how my elements will look like, and this is how my packages look like. When I was talking about getting the data source, you will have to just hover up here, and you will find something called the configuration Endure. So this is a data source name that we have to enter into the connections. This is the elements, the number of elements that's already been created in here. And these are all the packages that's been created. Let me open up my automation. I have a couple of automations created in here. So let me show up the automation. So this is the connection we have. So as said, we'll have to give the connection name, the URLs, the username, and this is a data source name that we were talking about. It's mandatory. We need to give in here. So the automations, the way I created my automation is between Endure to Rally, and I have the element. So the CCID, the change control, will get written in as a change set into my user story. These are all the field mappings that we have added, the element name and all the SCM repositories, the SCM types, when was the last commit done. So all these things will actually write into the system. Let me quickly show how it look like. I'll open up my Rally. So this is a story in which I'm going to write my changes that gets into from Endure. So in this, I have already like a couple of change requests that's come in. So let me go into my Endure and add it. So whatever change that I do in here, so if there is a change that is happening, I will immediately, it will get reflected onto my change request. So let me let me just put up a change. It gets updating the element, and since this is push based, it should immediately get into my system in here. So if you have seen, you will get the fifth item, the last commit. So when was the committed timestamp? The last committed timestamp will actually get in, and you will be able to, from the story itself, I'll be able to know like what is a change request, or the changes that has been done on the mainframe side. We'll be able to get into here on the story or defect. So this is a pattern that we have actually tried to solve. So it can, you can do lot many activities, like, if you want to push the build details, or what is the status of the code commit, all that status we can actually send it to the other tools like Jira and Rally, or even a ServiceNow, a change request gets created. It can get created as a package on the Endure side. You can make changes on the packages, and you can flow back the packages to the change request on the ServiceNow side. So this is what we have solved as part of Endure.